Good evening. My name is Jason Delisle. I'm president of the Speedway Town Council. It is 7 p.m. on July 22nd, 2024, and I call this meeting to order. Start off with our Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, to my right is our town manager, Grant Kleinhans.
Good evening.
Our town councilor, Sean Harold.
Good evening.
And to my left is our town attorney, Ted Nolting.
Good evening.
Our town councilor, Vince Noblet.
Good evening.
And Vice President Nick Sturgeon.
Good evening.
Our first item is approval of our minutes from the July 8th, 2024 meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve our minutes from the previous meeting.
I'll second that.
All right, any questions or comments regarding? All right, if none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor of approving our minutes from July 8th, 2024, say aye.
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 And opposed? That passes 4-0. Next item is, excuse me, approval of the memorandum of our administrative session of the Speedway Town Council, July 8th of 2024.
I'll make a motion to approve the memorandum from our administrative session of the Speedway Town Council on July 8th, 2024.
I'll second.
All right, any questions, comments? I'll call for a vote. So all those in favor of approving our July 8th Town Council memorandum or administrative session, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, that passes 4-0. Next item is approval of quote from DC Construction Services for the seal coating and crack sealing of the Speedway Municipal Center parking lot. Grant.
Yes, thank you. So since opening the building in 2021, we have experienced significant cracking in the surface of the parking lot, which is not unexpected. We actually, as one of the cost-cutting measures, we ended up nixing the full-depth replacement of the parking lot. We thought we would get some more years out of that before the cracks started mirroring through to the surface, but that has started to happen fairly significantly. So we reached out and got a quote from DC Construction Services for a two-part proposal, one to do a seal coat of the asphalt surface itself, 50,000 square feet, 2 coats of sealer. That will cost $10,717. And then we also asked, before they do that, we want them to do asphalt pavement crack seal. We want those cracks to be sealed as much as possible, strengthened, tar will be put down in them, like it says there, rubberized crack sealant. That will be $2,525. So the total proposal that we are recommending this evening is $13,242, and we recommend approval of that so that the work can be scheduled, probably done in September or October as it starts to cool down a little bit.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the quote from DC Construction Services, Inc. for the seal coating and crack sealing of a Speedway Municipal Center parking lot.
I'll second.
All right, any questions or comments? All those in favor of approving our quote from DC Construction Services for seal coating and crack sealing, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes 4-0. Next item is approval of Resolution 2024-04, which states the Town Council of the Town of Speedway, Indiana, declaration of official intent to reimburse expenditures. Grant.
Yes, thank you. So this is a pretty big deal here. As you know, we've been working for the past couple of years identifying ways to fund and finance two fairly sizable capital improvement projects in our community. One is the 25th Street project from Lyndhurst to Parkwood. We are looking at doing a full-depth asphalt replacement, fixing the base, curb, gutter, all of that, lighting improvements, crossing. That project is estimated to cost about $3.5 million. There's several grants that we are planning to apply for. The other project that we would like to lump into this reimbursement resolution is the Crawfordsville Road Pedestrian Enhancement Project. We received a $2.3 million grant from the MPO. The problem is that was received in 2021 when costs were significantly different than now. That project has now increased to nearly $4.5 to $5 million. We are investigating different cost-saving alternatives for that, but we'll probably need $1 million to $1.5 million to fund and complete that project, as well as $1.5 million to $2.5 million for the 25th Street project. So this reimbursement resolution basically says we intend to look into issuing up to an amount not to exceed $4 million for the purposes of building those projects, but reimbursing any costs that are associated with those. That might include design engineering, right-of-way acquisition, professional services, surveying that we have already incurred. We can lump those into the cost of those projects, get reimbursed for those, and take that out of a potential future bond. We are looking at issuing that bond potentially as part of the budget process by the end of the year. We are hoping to keep that tax rate level by we're paying a debt off and we're going to slide this new debt into its place. It will be a short-term debt, probably 3 to 5 years, and we'll keep that tax rate fairly level, but once again, provide us the capital needed to build these two important projects. So once again, the item tonight is just authorizing us to reimburse expenses for a potential up to not to exceed $4 million bond. I'll answer any questions that you might have once you.
Well, I'll make a motion that we give approval for Resolution 2024-04, Town Council of the Town of Speedway, a declaration of official intent to reimburse expenditures.
I'll second.
All right, any question or comments?
Just a comment that I think we can all agree that 25th Street, the improvement project there is sorely needed and has been for some time. I think the condition of that road is, to the point where we need to do something. We need to do something as quickly as we can. So I'm supportive of this, and obviously the Crawfordsville Road Pedestrian Improvement Project is very important as well. So as Grant mentioned, applying for the grants, for the matching grants will be a great asset, but I think this is very much needed.
I second that, and I think it's indicative of a lot of our roads in the town of Speedway, as road cost has increased significantly, and the ability to find funding from the gas tax and from a state level has been challenging communities all over the state to generate the funds that it takes to take care of those roads. And I think this is a start, Grant. I appreciate your leadership on getting all the different ways that we can fund this and get it handled. I just wish we had it a year and a half ago or whatever.
Agreed.
But the hindsight's always 20/20. But we got to get it done.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, this stretch of road on 25th Street's in Indianapolis.
Yes.
So we are taking the initiative to get this done because it is needed. If we were relying on the city county to get this done, it would be not next year, lucky if it would be
5 years.
Yeah, 5 years before this would get on their radar.
100%, yes.
Just a quick clarification too. This resolution allows us to work on the issuance of those bonds, right?
Yep.
So the actual, I guess, voting on those bonds will occur at a later date.
It would be probably in October, November. There's underwriting that would need to be done, final costing and pricing of that bond, and then we would want to close by the end of the year so that that tax rate would then slide onto the tax rate for next year. And the reality is, both of these projects, if things go well, we potentially will be bidding those late this year and construction starting next year.
And I guess I'll make one other comment, is that we're doing everything that we can to make sure the other sources of funding are coming in to help with the cost. So it isn't entirely on our residents to pick up the tab.
Yeah, so we have actually acquired $2.3 million from the MPO for the Crawfordsville Road project. We are going to apply for $1.5 million for 25th Street through the Community Crossing Matching Grant Program. We're also going to apply for about $1.5 million from the SS4A program, which is Safe Streets for All. That one I'm not as sure about. And then the final thing, we are going to ask Indianapolis for up to $1 million through their Neighborhood Improvement Program grant. I'm not sure we're going to be granted that, but we will be making application. So all told, those numbers total about $5.5 to $6 million for about a $9 million project.
All right, any other questions, comments? I'll call for a vote. All those in favor of approving our resolution 2024-404, which is the declaration of official intent to reimburse expenditures, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes 5-0. Next item is approval of town manager employment agreement, and I'll just speak on this quickly. So Town Council has reviewed the agreement with our town manager, and we are proposing a 4-year agreement that includes salary, vacation, benefits for our town manager. And maybe I should save this comment till, I'll save that comment. But basically, we put together this agreement, and again, this is kind of standard practice, I guess, for town manager and for this position. Should we call for a resolution to approve the town manager employment agreement?
Yeah, I'll make a motion for the approval of the town manager employment agreement as presented.
I'll second that.
All right, any questions or comments? Maybe I'll make my comment now. I just wanted to say, on behalf of the town and, the time that we've had working together, 6-7 months, I just sincerely appreciate all the work that you've done on behalf of the town, and looking forward to continuing to work with you throughout our term. So just thank you on behalf of the town.
No, thank you. I love working here. I love Speedway. I love the team, and it's been a great 3 years, which is amazing that I can say it's gone that quickly. It's 3 years now. So after this, it would be 7. So I just need to continue to do the job I'm hired to do, and maybe there'll be another contract in the future. Thank you.
Okay, you got a motion?
All right. So if there's no other questions, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor of approving our town manager employment agreement, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? That passes 4-0. Next item is approval of claims, and in Philip's absence, Grant, do you want to say a couple words?
Yes, so the claims docket before you this evening is for the period covering July the 4th through July the 12th, 2024. The total of the claims docket is $1,619,709.93.
I'll make a motion to approve our claims.
I'll second it.
All right, any questions, comments? All right, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor of approving our claims as presented, say aye.
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 Opposed? Passes 4-0. All right, town manager report. Grant?
Yeah, so I just have one item that I wanted to to clarify, because I know this was asked at the end of the last council meeting, and embarrassingly, I was not aware of that, so we found out. But we had a test that the water department missed in April. This is a monthly test. We take it at several locations around the town. It tests for what is called total organic carbon. It looks for organic materials that are building up or collecting in the water system itself. As you may or may not know, we have many, many miles of water systems, and sometimes items can build up in certain areas. The test was missed. It was not taken and failed, it was missed. So why was it missed? Well, we had some turnover in that position. New duties were delegated. There was an opportunity for that to be missed. And I know I've had those conversations with the water superintendent and the assistant water and superintendent, who will make sure that never happens again. To my knowledge, we have not missed taking that test since I have been here. We also took the test in March, May, June, and July. And then the other question I would have is, why did it take so long to get the results? We did not hear from IDEM that we had missed the test until the end of May. By that time, our staff communicated with IDEM. It ended up being about the middle of June when IDEM got back to us and asked us to identify a letter that was then placed in people's mailboxes or on their front porches, and it's still ongoing. They wanted to do that by hand so that everyone got it. I would have preferred that we mailed it, but that has been corrected and that will never happen, hopefully, in the future. So we take full responsibility for that, but I want to reiterate, there was no failed test. In fact, we have no reason to believe that the test would have been failed.
No, and I appreciate that, because I'm the one that brought it up, because it was brought up to me. So I guess the concern was because it was hand-delivered, it just didn't seem official.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys have addressed the failure in the process.
Yeah. So now we have redundancy, and it should never, ever happen again.
And the other thing that maybe I did receive some questions just about the verbiage in the actual letter itself that was handed out. I think a lot of citizens were alarmed in the verbiage, and given that what the issue was, I don't know if we could be a little bit more straightforward on what exactly happened, what those issues were. That way we don't cause undue panic or concern, because I know I did have quite a few concerned neighbors reaching out. So
I agree with that. And also, from a corrective action standpoint, did they supply you a written corrective action for how they're going to resolve this issue so it doesn't happen again?
They sent me an email, and we discussed that email as to what that new process was.
I would say that anything that is tested and required by the state of Indiana, I think that we ought to have that backup, make sure that they sign off and make sure they understand. And if there is transition in employees, they need to sign off and make sure that they understand it. Because you're not going to keep the same employees for 20 years.
Yeah, and that ultimately was the root of the problem. We had some turnover in a couple of key positions, and it just fell through the cracks.
But I think we can apply the same thing to our wastewater treatment plant. And also
I did discuss with them, and they have a redundant program where assistant superintendent and superintendent have to sign off that tests are taken. So that's kind of that new procedure.
Okay, good. Thank you.
I guess the last question, do we anticipate any fallout or fines or repercussions from IDEM on
No,
missing that?
we do not.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, anything else?
That's all I have this evening.
Okay. Counselor Harold?
Really just one fun thing to share. I hope everybody got to see on Facebook and on the news. Our Speedway High School football team received a very generous donation from Anthony Richardson from the Colts, as well as Vices. Got 100 brand new helmets. Make sure our kids have safe equipment this season. So it was a pretty cool thing to have the Colts on hand for all the kids. I know they were awfully excited. So if you haven't had a chance, go check out the videos on Facebook. But other than that, that's it.
All right, thank you. Counselor Noblett?
I thought I'd like to mention, this past weekend, we had another big race in town, and brought a lot of visitors to our community. I think our street department and Grant, your whole team did a great job in making sure that our town really looked sharp for the event. I think it was a little bit larger than what they anticipated, and just handling the number of people and getting them the right location. So I know there's a lot of people on Auburn that were upset because of, I mean, it was totally jammed, and which is, you know, it's really a good thing that, you know, that we have those number of visitors. We just have to plan ahead of time and make sure that those plans will work. We're used to the Indianapolis 500, and but when you have another event that you don't know, it's only the size of Lucas Oil coming, you know, and they've got, you know, the help of IMPD and from downtown, and we've got to handle it with our force with a little bit of help from the state police, and it's challenging, especially when you got a window that everybody comes in on. So it goes out to our police department and in handling the crowd. Is beautiful weather. It was really a fantastic show. I think the West Motor Speedway put on a great show for Saturday and Sunday, and I can anticipate that crowd growing. That's all I've got.
Vice President Sturgeon.
Yeah, I'll just kind of second what Councilor Noblett, mentioned on the Brickyard yesterday. I think having probably one of the higher attended Brickyards than we've had over the last couple of years. So it was good to see everybody in town. The Holler Parade on Thursday was well attended. Saw lots of folks out there. Also, just a little bit ahead to change up next Thursday, and I don't have the time, but it's next Thursday. I think I'm going to say around 5 or 6. The Speedway band is doing their community night at the high school. If weather is nice, it'll be out on the football field. If not, they'll move it into the gym. But I think it's as they're getting prepared for the state band competition on the 2nd. I know it's kind of the climax to their competition season. So they had their first competition over the last weekend in Muncie and performed pretty well, but would just encourage everybody to come out and support the band because they put in a lot of hours to get that show together for really only 3 big competitions, so it's a lot of work. So I'll have some stuff on my Facebook account on the exact time.
Well, and I think our fire department, the annual tradition is this week, they'll go out and
It'll be on the 24th.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Okay. Got it. I always think that's such a cool thing.
Yeah, I kind of helped, get the fire department in that. And they're also, the union's going to be providing dinner for the band kids on the 25th as well. So appreciate the fire union for doing that.
Very cool. All right, and with that, our 12th meeting of 2024 is adjourned at 7:23.